Peace, peace. Yeah, open up with that image to show what's going on in the streets of Louisville right now. So Ali, you was right, man. You called it. No charges against the officers who murdered Breonna Taylor. Salute. I give you your props, man. You was right, brother.
One guy was charged on some abstract bullshit.
Yeah, wonton, 3 counts of wonton endangerment. That had nothing to do with Breonna Taylor. That was something to do
Yeah,
with him firing recklessly into one of her neighbor's apartment and could have possibly shot somebody.
right.
So
3 counts of that.
I give you your props, man. You called it. You was dead right. People are still in the street. They're not, they're not good with the decision. You know what I mean? To not bring any kind of criminal charges in her murder because it was just that murder. And I'm sure that under any other circumstances, if anybody else would have did what they did and shot somebody, whether it was by accident or whatsoever, they would have been penalized to the full, under the full punishment of the law.
Absolutely. You could have looked forward to that.
I was
Absolutely.
checking out some of that article that you sent me earlier. I didn't get an opportunity to read it all, but I was basically, checking it out and what it was saying about how most officers who are involved in shootings are not brought to charge, are not brought up on charges or does any jail time whatsoever because of what we talked about a lot in the past about the police unions and how they protect them, how you broke down about how part of that is because through that they're able to come up there with their lawyers and get their stories right and all that. Like you said, who's able to do that? You know what I mean?
Nobody but the police. And these police unions have actually a long time ago got these things written into laws in various states. You understand? It's not just union making pressure. Years, decades ago, they got these things written into state laws. You understand? Whereas it's the law that you can't. You understand? That's why these guys in Kentucky hands are tied. The law says what it says. You understand? And you can't just go arrest somebody because everybody's mad at them. That's against the Constitution and it's against the law.
Yeah, just I'm still like justice for Breonna. Y'all. I don't feel like justice was served whatsoever. I understand that people got that money.
I believe that goes a long way to providing justice, especially in Breonna Taylor's case, because it wasn't caught on tape, and someone from inside the apartment fired on the police when they kicked the door in. You're never going to see a conviction in that. I'm sorry. The feds are going to look at it. They're not going to do anything. There's nothing to be done. I mean, sometimes tragic things happen, and nobody is really held responsible. You understand? Nobody's going to be held responsible for that shooting. So that $12 million they got, I suggest they take that, do what's right for their family with that, and I don't know what else you can do. Keep protesting.
That's about all you can do because, like you said, as we see, there's no justice. They didn't bring no charges. And they ain't thinking about bringing no criminal charges to them officers. The only thing they did was that bullshit ass charge, 3 counts of wanton endangerment. And this dude will be working at another police department somewhere. You know what I mean? He'll be
I doubt
fine.
that. But I believe they threw them charges together just to appease the masses.
I don't know about that. I mean,
because when that goes to trial, you're going to see that ain't nothing going to come of that. You're going to see that. I can assure you of that right now. Nothing is going to come of what them charges are. They're barely felonies.
Bullshit ass charges.
If you don't cop out, what they going to do? They got to go to trial. And I'm certain he's not going to say I'm guilty of that. I'm certain he's not going to cop out. So they're going to have a trial. And I'm almost sure that a jury ain't gonna find him guilty of those minor charges.
Brett Hankinson. The three officers, Brett Hankinson, Jonathan Mattingly, and Miles Cosgrove. Those are the Mattingly and the Cosgrove dude. Those are the ones that actually fired on Breonna, though. They fired on her boyfriend and her.
And Hankinson too, right? They got him for firing his gun at the wrong thing.
Yeah, he fired his gun. He went outside and started firing through the side window or the sliding patio door or some shit, and was firing into, he couldn't see. I guess there were blinds or whatever, it was covered, so he was just firing, going sick, firing into the apartment. You know what I mean? Just going sick. But then the other two officers, the Cosgrove and Mattingly, because I think Mattingly, he's the one who initially got shot by her boyfriend, and he started firing back. But the thing that I find interesting is that after she was shot, there was a 911 call placed by the boyfriend. And in his 911 call, he's saying that, people have came in and shot his girlfriend. So I would think, obviously by this time, they haven't announced themselves or even identified themselves as being police officers, and they already had shot. So, and she was laying there for 6 minutes, I believe, still alive, something to that effect. So the point I'm getting at is by the time even the shots have fired off, he's making a 911 call, and no one has identified themselves as police yet. I mean, am I the only one picking up on that?
No, I agree. I don't believe they announced it, though. I have been in a situation, I've been in that situation several times, at least 4 times in my life, where the police kicked the door in when I was in there, and they never stopped and knocked and said, it's the police and we're coming in. They never do that. The door comes down and then they run in there and say police.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100% correct.
They don't stop and wait for somebody to come through the door. They don't do that. That's a lie. They don't operate like that, and they didn't operate like that in Breonna Taylor's case. But this is one thing I want to make clear. Just look, even 10 years ago, you didn't hear that much about this. Just look how wild the police run in our communities. Just look how wild, and not only our communities across this country, they run wild and have been doing it since the beginning. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's all becoming obvious now to a lot of people looking. And I was reading an article today that a lot of people are getting tired of looking at this mess. And I'm not talking about as far as the police killing unarmed black people. I'm talking about they're getting tired of people protesting about it. They feel like everybody should just go home and shut up about it.
I don't like that attitude.
Did you read that article I sent you?
Yes, I did. And I don't like that attitude.
Yeah, I don't like that attitude either, but people are getting fatigued because it happens so regularly now that it's like we're almost always constantly in the street.
Well,
and people are getting fatigued about that. A certain segment of our country, a certain segment of our society is growing fatigued with that situation.
I wonder what segment that might be.
I think you do this as well as I do, brother.
I'm curious.
The right way, the Republicans.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll fear this day when this thing will become just another Republican versus Democrat issue. You understand what I'm saying? Because then it just goes on the scrap heap of our recent history where nothing ever gets changed, nothing ever gets solved. It's just this side feels this way and that side feels that way.
Yeah, it becomes politicized, and then it just
Right.
becomes something that becomes kind of passe, and it
Right,
takes
right.
away from
It
the
just
true
becomes an
essence.
issue that one of those issues like guns,
Yeah,
abortion, this,
yeah,
that, and
just
the third. You know what I'm saying? The issue that we're
mm-hmm.
divided on, and that's just it. Ain't nothing ever going to get done because we can't meet nowhere at no point in the middle to come together and work on it.
Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like, this energy needs to stay in the streets. We need to be this should have been happened. You know what I mean? The energy needs to stay in the streets and shine constant attention to it. Like you said, every time black
Absolutely.
person, black man, black woman gets hurt, brutalized, or killed by the police, burn everything the fuck down. Fuck it.
Every time it's caught on video, make sure they feel it.
I'm telling you, forever and a day, this shit's been happening. Like I said, they downplay it, brush it on the rug, don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? And it's time. It's been time for this bullshit
That's
to
right.
stop. You know what I mean? True equality.
I'm just saying, let me speak to these guys out here, these social justice athletes that got all this money. Let's start some kind of system in this country, like cop watch or something. We'll call it something like that, where anybody and everybody, whenever you see police activity in your neighborhood or anywhere you happen to be, videotape it. You understand? And if you videotape something that leads to a police officer being fired, or you lead to him being arrested, certain people will pay you money. You understand what I'm saying? That's a good way to spend money, like a bounty on these guys that's not acting right on the street. So maybe it'll be $50,000 if you get a cop fired. You understand what I'm saying? And maybe more if you get a cop arrested, and more if he gets convicted. You understand? Because of your video. Take the time to videotape police situations, and maybe we can get guys to come together and start a fund to compensate these people to make it worth their while to do that. And then you will have people doing it all the time, driving the cops crazy. Because when the video gets out, they can't use their narrative. You understand? They got narratives and they got stories to tell when something happens, just like we've seen happen in Rochester, New York. You understand? Where this was almost dead for them. It just happened to come back up because my man brother kept harping on it. You understand what I'm saying? But it was almost over for them because they had told their lies, and the powers that be bought them.
No doubt. A lot of that is happening. There's a lot of people who are doing just that now. I understand what you're saying. Create some kind of incentive program and incentive for people who video the cops doing misdeeds, mistreatment, brutalizing citizens and things of that nature. Yeah. But a lot of people still do that right now. But yeah, that would be a good thing to do and have like an incentivized program for people. I mean, give them some money. I mean, but a lot of people are doing it just on the strength of because they're tired of the bullshit too. I go through my Instagram account, I come across mad videos of, cats filming police, making sure they do the right thing whenever they stop a person or, if they see somebody being brutalized, they get it on film, And I
that's what we
applaud.
need. That's what we need.
I applaud those people, and I say that needs to continue. We need to keep that up. You know what I mean, and keep that energy and keep in the streets, man. People need to be heard. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said, these outdated policies have to be done away with, man. It has to be a new. I don't know what it looks like, but it has to be a new way of policing, man. It has to be something else. Where
I really don't think we need a new way of policing. I think we need to do away with police impunity. And until we do, the system is never going to change. But the day we do, I promise you, the police system will change in this country because cops will know that they'll be dragged into court almost every single day. They won't be able to work They'll have to go to court and explain why you beat this nigga and why you did that and why you did this. Because people will be bringing lawsuits against them. Because you can't sue cops now and you can't arrest them and you can't prosecute them because they act with impunity. They are beyond the law that they enforce. They don't have to, they're not subject to the same laws that they enforce.
So talk to me about what does that look like as far as removing that impunity?
What that looks like is there's got to be some kind of action in Congress and Washington. Congress and the Senate are going to have to pass laws that's going to do away with police. And I'm telling you, this is never going to happen. I can't see it happening because I just don't think it'll happen. But it might. But until we end police impunity in Washington and they put it out as a federal law, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, well.
Because the states can't really do it. How can a state go against this police? How can a state do that?
Yeah, you're right.
Take a state like, huh?
So you're right. And you see that Donald Trump just the past summer signed some bullshit in the law that was really still pro-police. And he tried to get a clap on the back like he really did something to try to, you know, mend the fence or mend the bridge between the community and police when he didn't do shit. I forget the name of that bullshit executive order that he did when he had all the police standing around him in the Rose Garden in summer after then had the nerve to invoke.
I remember that. I do. He got so much bullshit with him.
Yeah. Had the audacity to invoke George Floyd's name. Talking about George Floyd would be proud of this. Yeah, proud of it, or he looking down on it, some bullshit. Yeah, man. That's crazy, though. I guess, is it just another example of Black life don't matter?
Well, I don't think that. I think this case right here is showing us change. A lot of people don't recognize it from what you really seeing, but if you look at what you really seeing, these people did record speed to give these people a record judgment. $12 million, record speed, like less than 6 months. And to me, that looks different than what it's been looking like for other cases that I look at where they take years and 5 and 6 years to pay the family anything and never admit wrongdoing, never say that we made a mistake, never. Understand? Here they got the $12 million judgment and they got an agreement not to do no-knock warrants without being signed off by a senior police chief, police officer, a senior officer. So that's different from when they went in there and marched and killed him. And I've never seen them pay anybody that much money that fast.
You're right. My whole thing is the fact that I believe that money was paid out that fast because they knew that there was going to be no charges brought. And I think they just kind of wanted to quell this thing. Like you said, they want to make the people go home. Like you said once they get paid, the people will go home now. You know what I mean? Or they might have thought that maybe the family would get out in front of it and kind of, you know, tell the people to go home now. Or you know, I even seen something on the news where I think Breonna Taylor's mother was had made a post on Instagram saying that the system failed Breonna with a picture of Breonna.
Yeah, I read that on the internet.
I'm feeling that, you know what I mean, because they ain't like they taking the money and then counting down and being on some old forgive shit and everybody go home and everybody, you know what I mean? I'm still glad that they're calling for criminal charges to be brought against these officers. You know what I mean? I'm proud to see them take the bag and still stand their ground. You know what I mean? I'm feeling that.
Personally, I don't think that the families of these victims have that kind of influence over the crowd anyway. Once these things happen and get out, they take on a life of their own. And all the calling for peace and calm in the world ain't going to stop what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? These things are going down the way they got to go down, the way they're supposed to go down. And I don't think the family calling for calm is going to stop any of that.
You might be right, but I've seen over and over again that, you know, somebody's child or family member can get killed by the police, and next thing you know, family on TV talking about how they forgive and how they forgive. Mm-hmm. And I think that, again, it's contingent with them. Yeah, I think that's part and parcel of them getting that money, man. They got to come out because, you know, they'll ask them off the rip, do you forgive? Do you forgive a police officer? I mean, why are you even asking a question like that when this person lost it? Why is that important right now? You understand what I'm saying? Why is that so important right now?
I don't think the media is doing any service doing that, asking people that question, man. Because you're putting people on the spot where a person may not really feel like it. They may not be wanting to be portrayed in the media as somebody who, you know, against peace and quiet.
Yeah, and I think that's just a terrible question to ask somebody who lost a loved one. You know what I mean, a child or, you know, mother, you know, whoever it is, you know what I'm saying, to some type of violence of that nature. And the first thing out your mouth is, do you forgive? You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's all just like you said, that's to put them out there, put them on the spot, because now if they be on some, no, I don't forgive, then, oh, you know, now society wants to frown upon them. You know what I mean? Why would you even put somebody in that particular situation? But I'm proud.
That's crazy. If you think about that, that is really crazy. And they do that consistently.
Yeah, like I said, I think that's part and parcel and contingent with them getting that money. They gotta come out. I mean, well, I forgive. Look at the guy, both of John. What's the girl named, the police officer, the female officer that killed that man when his apartment said that she thought it was the wrong apartment and shot him? Amber Geiger. See how both of John's brother hugging and kissing on and carrying on, and she about to come home. She about to get ready to come home. I think she appealed her case. She'll be home in a minute. I mean, shit. All she gotta do is be like, well, look at the tape. The family forgave me. Right? Judge forgave me. Yeah, judge giving her, praying for her, giving her the Bible and all kind of shit. So, I mean, hey. You know, hey, just like you spilled some milk. Mistakes happen. I shot a nigga in his apartment, thought it was mine, killed this motherfucker. I'm sure they got some money. Fucking with Ben Crump. Yeah, they got some money. I don't know what order, you know, what the figures was, but picture them not getting some money. I believe that's why they was in there buck dancing so motherfucking hard. Hugging and kissing on her and shit. You gonna hug the motherfucker who killed your people, man.
I'm telling you, that's so foul, man. That's the media, though. That's the media. Everything is about perception, my nigga. I tell you that all the time. Everything is about perception, man. Everything. If you think about it, everything in our country especially is about perception. How is it going to play on TV? And these politicians and people in office and people at home positions, that's all they think about. They got public relations. You ever heard of public relation firms and shit like that? Because it tells them how it's going to play on TV. And that's all it all boils down to.
Yeah. That's crazy. But, you know, like I said, I applaud Breonna's mother and family for calling for justice for these officers to be brought on the criminal charges for killing their daughter. I don't necessarily think these guys are going to be brought up on charges, but I hope that the people stay in the street long enough. But who knows? You know what I mean? Like you said, they got this bread.
Long enough, we might get some action out of Washington, especially once Biden gets in there. We might get some action. Maybe not. But once Biden gets in there, he's going to have to deal with these protests and shit himself.
Yeah, Biden ain't going to do nothing. He already told me. So he already propping for the police. He said he feel like he was trying to give them more money. He think they need more help. mean,
He think they did what?
He thinks they need more help. He wants to give them more money. Yep. And that's all because, I mean, he's always been law and order, you know what I mean? But Trump is he's trying to play up more who's the more law and order guy, because now Trump is trying to play him like, oh, he's on the defund the police and abolish the police type of thing. And Joe Biden is trying to tout, his prowess as being a law and order guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which he's, like I said,
he got a well-known history.
Exactly. So it's no difference. You know what I mean? No one, I wasn't fooled. You know what I mean? I wasn't fooled at all. He's just as much law and order as Trump. He talking about they need more help. He trying to give them more money. A lot of that is political too, because he doesn't want to look weak. Huh?
Biden's talking about he want to ban chokehold.
Yeah, I mean,
that's his reform package.
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about. Reform is banning chokehold. He's out of touch.
Yeah, I ain't fucking with Biden. That's why I ain't fucking with neither one of them.
Ain't
fucking with neither one of them, son. Trust. I'm all good with all of them. I'll remain independent in thought, independent politically. You know what I mean? If you ain't talking about black empowerment, then I ain't trying to hear nothing you saying. Fuck. Yo, but yeah. You got any last words? I'm gonna give you the floor before we wrap it up.
No, all I gotta say is in police immunity now.
In police what?
Police immunity.
Immunity?
Yeah, police are immune from the law. They don't immune, the same deal. They don't have to obey the law. They can break it at will and get away with it. And nobody else can.
Yeah, I'm on board with you with that. So yeah, there you have it. In my opinion, I think that Breonna was dealt a bad hand all the way around. These cats get to murder her and they get to walk. The family got $12 million. Yes, indeed, that's a lot of money. But again, there's no price you can put on human life, and there's no price you can put on the pain and suffering that family's going through. Unfortunately, as it stands, it looks like there will be no justice for Breonna in the sense of these cops being brought to justice. Only one cop got fired and got some bullshit charges. 3 counts of wonton endangerment. That's nothing. He'll be working somewhere soon after this whole thing blows over. So hit us in the comments. Let us know, what do you think about this whole situation and the way it wrapped up? And on that note, I'll say peace to the family. Everybody be safe. We'll see you.